Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you are new here. I am Eliza Conner, your host of Creating Financial Harmony podcast, where we take a holistic approach to your money, taking into account your personal and business financial goals to help you keep the bag that you secured. Now, we do this by helping you pay the least amount of taxes possible if you pay any taxes at all, okay? And we do this through using the same advanced tax strategies that the rich use to avoid paying taxes, because you can do that too. Now, hold on now, right? Let's go ahead and hurry up and get into this episode today because I am excited to talk about this. I've been holding off on this for a while because I was still in shock, and it was just somebody that, I hold dear to my heart. This is episode 3. So if you like what we talk about today, or if you want to hear more, you have some comments or suggestions, or you want to give me your input on this conversation that we having right here, please leave a comment because I want to hear about it. I want to read about it and I want to talk about it. And I hope that you come back. So y'all, today I got to talk about this situation going on with who? Beyonce. One of my fave, like I said, it's just, I was in shock when I saw this. And I want to know what y'all think about this too, because for me, it was like, oh, wait a minute, Beyonce, what? Huh? You? But anyway, so picture this, right? I'm scrolling through the news, checking out other people's money business. I'm on Forbes, going through the news on Forbes. And I run into an article, and who do I see them talking about in Forbes, baby? They talking about Queen Bee herself. Beyonce. She was making headlines in the tax world. Now, you can imagine the shock on my face if you know me, because I can't hide my facial expressions. I'm one of those people. I have to remember, though, right? Just because she's a celebrity, it doesn't mean that, something like this can't happen to her, because it do. They're people, right? And people and businesses, they pay taxes. But it was like, but this Beyonce, IRS, this is Beyonce. What y'all doing? Okay. So I'm like, well, I guess she got to deal with taxes like the rest of us, right? So I just pull myself together and I get my notes out. And yeah, I'm going to try to get this thing right, because, it's important that you get this thing right when you're talking about these celebrities. So I will be referencing my notes based on the information that I read in Forbes News about this tax situation. Y'all also know what's been in the news is that the IRS has been on a hiring spree these last couple of years. And now it seems like they got some time on their hands today, y'all. So I want y'all to really take some time. If you have a business, or if you're self-employed with these side hustles and you're filing your taxes, make sure that you have your financial house in order, because if they can attack the Queen Bee, baby, they can look at yours too, okay? Because they got some time. So you know the drill. I want you looking at your receipts, getting your receipts together, making sure that you have all your financial records together. Make sure you also talk to your tax advisor or your tax strategist. If you don't have one, shoot us a message and see if we can help. But just make sure that you understand what your responsibilities are as a taxpayer and what records that you will want to maintain as a taxpayer, just in case the IRS decides to select your return for review. Anybody can be audited at any time. There is no checklist that they go by and decide who's going to be audited and when. So it ain't about if, it's when. So just make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row and your financial house is in order. Now let's get to it, right? So let me tell y'all what happened, what they say happened. Okay. So now what's really going on Beyonce taxes is something that we want to know. But we don't have all the detail. I wish I could see the tax return, or that they provided more details, because this is something that I'm really, really passionate about, and I really, really want to know all the details. As an EA, this is something that got my attention, because this is something that I do, right? I help people save money on taxes by avoiding paying taxes. You have a right to pay the least amount of taxes legally, right? So when it came to Beyonce, I'm reading the article, and boom, boom, boom. The IRS claimed that Beyonce owed them $2.7 million. Okay, that's a lot of money. So if the IRS send me a bill, you bill anybody a bill. It don't matter who it is or how much money you got. $2.7 million is a lot of money. So Queen B was like, I ain't going for that. What they mean I owe them $2.7 million, right? So Beyonce decided that she wasn't going to take this line down. So she filed a petition in the U.S. tax court to dispute this $2.7 million. And, you know, of course, she got her tax attorney representing her. She's not going to court by herself, which, yeah. So I thought about this and I decided to do this podcast on this particular topic because I felt like this is a teaching moment for everybody. If they can come after somebody like Beyonce, they can come after anybody, and they will. One thing that I want you guys to know is just because the IRS says that you owe them something, don't mean that you should automatically just pay them whatever it is they saying that you owe. You want to check your financial records. You want to go over with your tax preparer. The IRS, they can make mistakes too, right? They're human. Human beings work there, and everybody don't know everything, and just human error. So whenever you get a letter from the IRS, you want to check it, and you want to make sure that what they're taking off or taking away from you or claiming that you owe is correct also according to your own records. So it is extremely important, okay, that you keep up with your financial records, your receipts, bank statements, deposits, invoices, whatever you got. Just keep it all together. Talk to your tax strategist or tax advisor, tax preparer, whatever you have, and just make sure that you know what you're responsible for doing as a taxpayer and the documents that you're responsible for maintaining. Okay, so according to Forbes, the IRS sent Beyonce a notice of deficiency back in January 2023. That's this year if you're watching it in 2023. And the breakdown of that $2.7 million that the IRS claimed that Beyonce owed is broken down by year. So for 2018, they're saying that she owes $805,850 in additional tax, plus a penalty of $161,170. And for 2019, they say she owes $1,442,747 in additional tax, plus a penalty of $288,549.40. Yeah, they left that 40 cents on there. Okay, now that's a huge bill, right? So I don't blame Beyonce for like, nah, we ain't doing that, right? And I'm sure she consulted with her attorneys about that, who also agreed or advised her that she probably wanted to go ahead and dispute that, which she has a right to do. The IRS, they ain't holding back either, right? So she owed this money, and I did mention a penalty, and what you guys want to be aware of is this accuracy-related penalty for each year's tax that she owes for. So it's not that she didn't pay her taxes. What they're saying is there was some things going on with the taxes that they decided to take back, like some deductions. So the IRS can take back your deductions. You can put whatever you want to put on your tax return, but if the IRS says, nope, can't write that off, you're going to be taxed on it, okay? So because they felt like the IRS, that Beyonce should be required to pay an accuracy-related penalty for each year of additional tax, that penalty is 20%. And, you know, there's some interest going on here too, you know, so the longer you take the pay, they just keep adding interest on. So there's interest from those back taxes that they claim she's owing, plus the 20% accuracy-related penalty. Now, this got me curious, right? I want to know, why is Beyonce disputing these balances? Because again, as an EA, this is something that I'm wondering about. I want more details, which they don't give us. I want to know exactly what it is that she owed for, or they're claiming that she owed for. So Beyonce is claiming that the IRS disallowed millions of dollars in deductions that she rightfully had the right to write off. One of these deductions is a charitable deduction carryover from 2018 that was about almost $900,000. Now, y'all know Beyonce do a lot of charity, and we love her for that. So I'm just curious to know why the IRS decided to disallow that write-off. That's some of the things that I'm thinking about as I was reading this article. But unfortunately, Forbes did not spill the beans on that and give us the tea about these deductions that Beyonce is disputing. But we're all on the edge of our seats and eager to find out. I will be watching because I'm hoping that they share more information, because again, it's a learning experience for all of us, right? I want to be able to break it down to you guys and kind of explain to you what happened with this situation. And I also cannot stress to you enough that you cannot write off anything you feel like writing off. You want to make sure that you have a legitimate reason for writing it off and that it is ordinary and necessary for your business. What ordinary and necessary is, the IRS does not define that because it is based on each specific business. So whatever industry you're in, you want to understand what ordinary and necessary expenses mean when it comes to your business. One of my biggest things that I like to talk about and point out as an example, and I've seen this, okay, I just like, and it drives me crazy when I see something like this. So y'all know, heavy on social media and other channels that you've seen people claiming to be tax experts tell people, hey, go get this G-Wagon, you can write it off on your taxes. One example of that I saw was a hair braider. So I don't have nothing against hair braiders, but listen to this situation and hear me out and tell me, is it right or is it wrong? Like, common sense, let's think about it. You do hair out your kitchen. You braid hair out of your kitchen, right? Why you need a G-Wagon? What grounds do you have to purchase a G-Wagon with your business money and write it off and expect an entire deduction on this G-Wagon and you braiding hair out your kitchen? This is a real scenario that I've seen happen. So you want to be mindful of things like that. What are you going to use this G-Wagon for and why you need to have this for your business? Does every hair braider in your industry that do braids in their kitchen drive a G-Wagon? Is it necessary? Is it an absolute necessity for you to have a G-Wagon as a hair braider? And this is an example that I just want you guys to think about. Is it necessary for you to have a G-Wagon in order to operate your hair braiding business? So just kind of be mindful with that and some of the things that other, again, so-called tax experts are telling you to do. If it don't make sense, common sense, and if you can't find it in tax law, they can't show you, you may not want to do that. And you may want to start looking for another tax professional so that you're not in trouble. If the IRS decides to disallow a deduction for you, just like they did with Beyonce, you can dispute it. You can take them to tax court. You can have someone to represent you once you get that letter from them. Normally, they'll send a CP 2000. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I did pull a sample notice of deficiency letter from the internet. This is not anybody's notice of deficiency in particular. I just want you guys to see it because I know a lot of people have a tendency to throw things away that come in the mail. This is one of the letters that you get anything from the IRS, you don't want to throw that away. You want to reach out to an EA to represent you if you're not comfortable with representing yourself when dealing with the IRS, or you want to reach out to a CPA or an attorney. Either three of those, up to you. Another thing that I love, just like you have the Bill of Rights for the Constitution, you do have Bill of Rights when it comes down to your taxes too. So I want you to be mindful of that as well and keep that in mind. If you missed my first episode, you want to go back and check that one out where I talked about the Bill of Rights as a taxpayer. But one of the main ones that I want you to know about that is related to this conversation that we're having today. is you have the right to pay no more than the correct amount of tax. You can avoid paying taxes legally. A lot of people cheat on their taxes when they don't have to. You also have a right to challenge the IRS's position, which is what Beyonce did in her case. They told her she owed $2.7 million, and she like, I had this, that, and the third on there, and I feel like I should be able to write this off, and I don't agree with you. So she's taking them to tax court so that she can be heard, because you have a right to appeal the IRS's decision. You have a right to retain representation. Like I mentioned, you can reach out to an EA, our firm, Conner Tax Services, of course. We're here to assist you if you need to plug us, or you can reach out to a CPA or an attorney, either of the three, if you wish to do so and you're not comfortable with facing the IRS by yourself. Okay, so I have some other notes I'm just grabbing here. And so again, make sure that when you do get a letter from the IRS, this is a sample notice of deficiency. It doesn't belong to anybody in particular. It's just something I found on the IRS just to show you, just so that you can be familiar in what that looks like. So a notice of deficiency is also called a 90-day letter. And I know these words, sometimes the language isn't there for some people, but the main thing is it will be on your letter. You'll see notice of deficiency, and it is also referred to as a 90-day letter. And that is because you have 90 days to appeal what they address in this letter. And you appeal that by filing a petition in tax court, which is what Beyonce did. So Queen B, I hope you win this case. Only 3% of IRS cases end up going to tax court. So we hope that she has a chance of winning this case. We're going to be there for Queen B. But either way it goes, it's not like, she broke or something. So we ain't worried about nothing happening like that, because she got the money. But before you hand over somebody that amount of money, you want to make sure that, they got their stuff right, because y'all need to give me an explanation if y'all want that much, because that $2.7 million, you're not just going to get that from me. I don't care if I got $50 billion. I'm not going to hand over like $100 billion. I'm not handing over 2.7 million. So I agree with Beyonce when she challenged them, because obviously there's an issue. And if she did qualify for that charitable deduction, I think that, she should fight that, because we all know Beyonce, she always helping out the community in every community. So IRS, do the right thing by her, y'all. When she come to court, y'all do the right thing by her. Beehive, where y'all at? I just want to know, is the Beehive pulling up to the tax court with Beyonce? Y'all gonna show up? I mean, how far would you go? How far would you go? Let's see. Let's go. Drop me some comments. Let me know what you think about this. We know that Beyonce she's responsible. She got the money. She secured that bag, and she's still securing bags, right? Who got one of those tickets to the concerts? You go to her concerts, she got the bag. So she'll do the right thing either way it go. What she's asking them to do is, if she does owe the money and they decide for whatever reason that they have that she owed that money, she wants them to remove the penalties and, just let her pay what she owes, if in fact she owes that. She agreed to be responsible when it comes to that. So hopefully they give Queen B what she asking for. But anyway, on that note, we'll let this conversation in. That's all we have for this episode of Creating Financial Harmony podcast. I'm Eliza Conner, your host, and I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the tax world with Queen B, Beyonce. Remember, leave a comment, follow the show if you're not already following us, and I hope to see you back again. If you have another celebrity or any other tax topic that you'd like me to discuss, please reach out. And of course, if you need our help, we're here to serve you. Just send us a message or reach out to us. Have an awesome day.